Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to this month's live webinar of Bigeye. So for everyone who's not familiar with Bigeye or myself, my name is Daniel Tisdale. I'm a sales engineer here at Bigeye. And at Bigeye, what we try to do is be able to create trust in everything you build with data. So we are a data observability platform that really helps enable data engineers, analysts, and stewards to collaborate on keeping all your data fresh, accurate, and trustworthy. So I'm going to run through a few quick slides, and then we'll do kind of a high-level demonstration of a few key areas of the platform, and looking forward to giving everyone a nice walkthrough of Bigeye. So what I wanted to touch on next was really all of the different kind of components that make up the overall platform that we have here at Bigeye. So at the top, you'll see the AI Guardian. So the AI Guardian is essentially a data access gateway and a policy engine. This is one of the newer pieces of functionality that we have released into the platform that allows people to be able to not only govern and make sure that any agents that companies are using are not accessing data they shouldn't access, but also ensuring that those results that are returned from any agents that are being consumed or used internally, that the data is of high quality there. Now, under the Guardian, you'll see a few other modules that we have. So data observability. So this includes things like monitoring, rules, alerting. We've also recently introduced a data sensitivity module, which helps with both scanning for sensitive data, including PII, PHI data, and also assist with classifying that data itself. Now, shortly, we're going to be introducing a data governance module as well. So that includes things like certification, business glossary for users, as well as being able to understand all of the different owners of different data assets. And then down at the bottom, we have our metadata platform. So that includes the data catalog, data profiling, data lineage. And then at the very bottom, you'll see a number of different logos and vendors. Those are some of the different solutions that we integrate with. So let's talk a bit about the value of AI trust. So there's really kind of three key pillars, to being able to have high trust of your data and feel confident in everything as it relates to organizing and working with different AI agents. So enhance enterprise data quality. So obviously AI models and the answers that they return are only as accurate as the quality of the data that's fed into them. The second pillar would be discover sensitive data everywhere that it's living inside of your ecosystem. This really helps automatically find hidden PII, PHI, PCI, other sensitive data. And then a third pillar would be really helping to reduce the financial compliance and reputational risks that are quickly evolving as different AI regulatory requirements are starting to emerge. So let's talk a little bit about what is data observability. So data observability is real-time visibility into the behavior of your entire data estate, from the origin of the data through your pipelines into destinations like business intelligence, machine learning, and AI applications. Now, I'll also run through some of the benefits and the components that make this up quickly. So some of the benefits is really helping you identify and find those unknown unknowns, as well as what's the business impact, from a data quality perspective, helping with efficiency on being able to deploy faster, less maintenance, as well as coming back to that concept of trust. So being able to detect and resolve issues before your business stakeholders do. Now, there's four main components that make up data observability: data lineage, data pipeline monitoring, data quality monitoring, and anomaly detection. Now you can see in this visual here some of the different layers and steps, different tools that we're able to connect to with Bigeye. So on the far right, we've got different analytics tools such as Tableau, Power BI, some of the more modern cloud warehouses like Snowflake, Databricks, being able to tap into and integrate any of your ETL, ELT tools from a transformation perspective, Azure Data Factory, dbt, as well as also having great connectivity into some of the more legacy on-prem type of systems, such as a SQL Server or an Oracle. Now, when we talk about the sensitive data scanning component, we really want to help identify and protect your sensitive data. So some of the things that the sensitive data scanning module is able to help with includes automatically classifying sensitive data across all of your data sources, so you can really protect what matters most. Now, the results of that, we can break those down into really kind of three overarching themes or pillars here. So improve governance, really create a complete view of where sensitive data lives in every data source. You make sure you have the right controls, you're enforcing consistent policies and eliminating any of those hidden blind spots. A reduced risk profile. So by identifying and classifying sensitive data automatically, you reduce the chance of breaches, strengthen compliance, and avoid costly penalties and PR problems. And then AI-ready data. So preventing accidental exposure in AI use cases, accurate classification allows for guardrails so teams can adopt AI faster, safely, and confidently. Now, AI is only as good as the data it runs on. So one of the newest pieces of functionality that we've introduced, and we'll walk through this a little bit in the demonstration, is all around helping you scale your data and AI initiatives confidently and leveraging Bigeye as kind of the mechanism to really help with some of that AI trust. So we've got a trust dashboard that we'll walk through in the demonstration here. Now, this visual on kind of highlights and dives a little deeper into how we're able to scale AI confidently with the Guardian. And you'll see in the middle here, the Guardian really sits in between your different data sources. We've got at the bottom, Snowflake, Databricks, some SharePoint data, BigQuery, and it really makes sure that any of the agents that you can see towards the top, like Snowflake Intelligence, Agentbricks, Agentforce, Copilot Studio, the purpose of the Guardian is really to help ensure that these agents are only accessing data that they should be able to access, as well as surfacing up any warnings or potential issues with some type of data that an individual is trying to access via an agent. Now, when we talk about the overall ROI of Bigeye and how do we actually measure that ROI, these are some of the key metrics that our customers are able to get out of a solution such as Bigeye. So they're really able to identify more issues faster, and that results in reducing the mean time to resolution and ultimately earning increased trust from business users, really within just the first 6 months of leveraging Bigeye. Now, I wanted to round out the slides before we get into the demo here by just letting you know that you're in very good company. Numerous enterprise data teams around the world choose Bigeye to run their business on trusted data. You can see a few very large companies here. A few to just call out: USAA, Cisco, Williams Sonoma, Hertz, Zoom. So we really span any industry, in terms of the types of organizations that we work with, and also from a use case perspective. So with all that said, let me go ahead and jump into the demonstration of the platform, and then I'll leave just a 1 or 2 minutes at the end to see if there's any questions from everyone. So let me go ahead, share my screen out here. Okay, perfect. So where I really wanted to start today was from the perspective of a business analyst, downstream business user, and what are the ways that we can really help them be able to feel confident in actually making accurate business decisions based off of the data that's displayed on a dashboard. So this is a Tableau dashboard that I've got pulled up here. This is all retail kind of transactional related data. And you'll notice along the right-hand pane, I've got this Bigeye browser extension open as well. Now, without the browser extension, I don't really have an easy way to know, can I trust the data on the dashboard? Is it high quality? Are there missing values? Is it up to date? This really provides me a high level overview to be able to, again, know whether or not I can feel confident in making accurate decisions based off of the dashboard itself. So we include a number of kind of high level metrics. This health section here gives two key percentages. So one is a coverage ratio, meaning do we have some level of Bigeye metric or monitoring on all of the columns that are feeding into this dashboard across the entirety of that pipeline. And then the metric health gives us a view into how healthy are the Bigeye metrics that we have set up. So we can see here that we've got a few metrics that are in an alerting state, which have now generated an issue. So as I scroll down on the browser extension, you'll see a little more information. We're seeing some unexpected value distributions. We've got some failing rules. And then down at the bottom, under issue details, this is where I can see the breakdown of those open issues into pipeline issues and quality issues. Now we've got the bulk of our issues under quality. Those would be things like duplicate checks, null checks. We've got around 70 or so out of the box metrics in Bigeye that are very easy to deploy. And then we also have one pipeline issue, and that would be freshness in or volume. So did the data update as we've seen historically in terms of update schedules? If the pipeline did run, were the number of records that were updated or inserted kind of within the acceptable threshold or bounds of what we've seen in the past. Now, from here, kind of the next thing that I wanted to jump into is, okay, we see there's some issues. Well, let's go identify what those issues are, and then how do we go and actually resolve those issues? So if I click on this lineage tab, this is showing me the full end-to-end flow of data across the different systems that are ultimately ending up in that Tableau dashboard we were just looking at. So we can see that a few of these columns have been identified as having issues associated with them. So this price per unit column, that has a few issues. Now, if we go one layer above to the replication layer, we also see some data quality issues. And if I go all the way upstream to our transactional Oracle system, you can see that price per unit column is highlighted in that light shade of red. signifying that's the root cause of those issues, meaning that's where we would ultimately want to fix those data quality issues. Now, if I want to kind of understand, okay, what are those issues? How do I actually go and resolve those? I can click into one of those columns, and what you'll see is those 3 open issues there. So if I drill into one of those issues, this is telling me that the average value is too low on price per unit. So what that means is we've set up a metric where we're looking at the average value across price per unit, and that's being represented in terms of what values we're actually getting by these black lines here and these dots that are shifting a little bit as the shape of the data is changing. So the gray band that's behind this black line here that's changing, that's the machine learning anomaly detection that we have built into the platform. So again, we learn from your data to really help assist you with what is considered normal or when things are actually showing some sort of issue. So we can see everything was good up until the last time the metric ran. That observed value, while it's just slightly lower than the lower bound, it is signifying that there is an issue associated with it. This description here, this leverages some generative AI to really surface up all of the critical information for you to be able to help ultimately speed up the time to resolve those different data quality issues. Now, if I go into the Resolve tab, this is first going to surface up some suggested resolutions that you can take and different actions that you can actually implement to resolve this specific data quality issue. Now, once you have actually implemented that specific resolution, you can mark whether it worked or it didn't work, and that will prompt to Bigeye to be able to know what are the things that are actually helpful in terms of resolving any of these data quality issues, so that over time you can see what were the steps that did help, and again, ultimately try to speed up the time to resolve any of those data quality issues themselves. Now I can also see all of the previous related issues. This is helpful in the context of knowing what were the steps that we took to actually potentially resolve things. Maybe this issue that we're having is related to a previous issue, so we would want to use that to be able to again speed up the time to resolve the issues there. Awesome. So with the last couple of minutes, I did want to touch a little bit on the AI Trust dashboard that we have recently introduced. And what we're looking at here in this Trust dashboard view is a list of all of the different agents that we have in use, how many people are accessing them, how compliant we are, what are the top data sources in terms of where these agents are grabbing their information from. And I'm going to drill into this Wayland Copilot product. So this is an agent that you can see is leveraging SharePoint, Snowflake information, and we've actually got some compliance issues with this specific product. So let's take a look at what's going on there. So if I click on the Wayland Copilot, what that is going to show me in chronological order, you can always sort by any of these headers here, is all of the different conversations that different users have had with this specific Copilot agent. Now, if I want to kind of understand, okay, I see there's some things that look like they were blocked. There's also a warning. Well, what happened in this first or most recent conversation here? So I can drill into the timestamp. And what this is now going to present to me is a history of that specific conversation that this user was having with the Copilot agent. And we can see they prompted, well, what credit card should I recommend to Emily Thompson here? So this is the response of the agent itself. We can also see that over here along the right-hand side, we have one warning. And what that warning is telling us is that one of the policies that is in place is a PII protection policy and a data quality policy. And so we've got a warning on that specific accounts table. Well, what exactly is that meaning? I can see down here that it's telling me that data accessed has one or more quality issues, so the results that this agent returned could be inaccurate. Now, what I can do is click on that specific table there that we have a warning on. That's the accounts table. And what I am noticing is that one of those metrics, the max metric, is set up. And what that is saying that, hey, this user's balance, the value that we're seeing is much higher than what we would consider kind of the absolute max that they could, or that they had historically had in their bank account. So it's showing they've got around $330,000. The upper bound is 100,000. So that is indeed, higher than the expected range. So that is now telling us that, hey, the information that we see that's been returned, and we can see that in the agent response, it's telling us that balance was $329,500, which is significantly higher compared to what they had. And the next prompt that the user entered was, well, help me personalize their pitch to Emily to be able to suggest a credit card for her. So we can see the agent's response here. And at the very bottom, you'll notice that it's telling us that the access was blocked by a policy. So some of the data that's being requested, it has a sensitivity level of restricted. And we can also see along the right-hand panel here, the information that the agent was trying to query was some PII information out of SharePoint. And it tried to access these for files that are living in SharePoint, but that was blocked through the AI Guardian because those are not pieces of information that this specific user can actually access. So that's another one of the benefits of the AI Trust platform is the ability for not only Bigeye to surface up if there are data quality issues in some of the tables or data sources that the agent is trying to access, but also being able to block PII information that agents shouldn't have the ability to access there. So I know this was a quick kind of walkthrough of some of the new pieces of functionality that we're releasing. We're super excited for this, and look forward to kind of continuing conversations with customers on how they're using agents and really how we can help assist from a trust perspective. So I hope this was a informative demonstration quickly through a few of the modules in the platform, and really look forward to continuing next month with another kind of walkthrough of the platform. If there are any questions from the audience, would love to spend a few minutes answering those, but don't want to take up too much more time, and really appreciate everyone's ability to join and learn a little bit more about Bigeye. So I'll just stick around for a minute or two, and then we can revisit this in our next monthly webinar. Awesome. Well, it looks like we didn't have any questions today, so I'll go ahead and end the stream here. Thanks again, everyone, for joining, and hope you have a great rest of your afternoon and week.